For 30 seconds after death, a severed head can still see, still think. The eyes may blink, the lips may move, and in those final half-minute heartbeats, awareness lingers, trapped between life and death. That half-minute belonged to Anne Boleyn. By May of 1536, and had endured 17 long days inside the Tower of London, the same fortress where, only 3 years earlier, she had prepared for her coronation as queen. Now, she awaited her own execution. The air was heavy with dread. Each dawn brought both faint hope and the terror that the next knock on her chamber door would be the final one. Henry VIII had summoned the finest swordsmen in France, not out of mercy, but for spectacle. The execution was to be clean, swift, and perfectly staged. But before that swift blade arrived, the king made her wait. Hours became days. Each postponement, another layer of psychological torment. Some witnesses claimed she laughed. Others said she joked about being a woman with no head. To some, it sounded like bravery. To psychologists today, it sounds like dissociation, the mind fracturing itself to survive unbearable reality. Her world had already collapsed. She stood accused of adultery, incest, and plotting to kill the king, charges so blatantly absurd that no honest court would have considered them. And knew this was not justice. It was erasure. Henry didn't just want her dead. He wanted her forgotten. The morning of her execution was unnaturally bright. London stirred not with mourning, but with excitement, as if for a festival. And had prayed through the night. At 2 a.m., she requested the sacrament, and remained kneeling before it for hours. By dawn, she had not slept at all. When the lieutenant of the Tower arrived, she smiled, not from calm, but because there was simply nothing left to fear. Her walk across Tower Green was short. The same path she once walked as queen. But now, those who had once bowed before her turned their faces away. The execution platform was low, barely 3 feet high. No grand stage for a queen. No coffin prepared. No dignity afforded. The crowd pressed forward, restless and eager. They had been told this was justice, yet what they witnessed was humiliation. Anne's final words were measured. "Good people, I am come hither to die according to the law." It sounded like submission, but it was not. She never confessed. She never admitted guilt. Even at the end, she denied Henry the satisfaction of being right. The French swordsman was a master of his art. He distracted her with a command to an assistant. "Bring me my sword!" and turned her head, instinctively. And in that instant, the blade struck. A single, perfect motion. Then silence. Her lips moved. Her eyes fluttered. For 30 seconds, witnesses swore her mouth formed words. Maybe a prayer. Maybe nothing. But in that half-minute, many felt a profound and terrible wrong had been committed. No coffin. No funeral. Her attendants found an old arrow chest to hold her remains. Her head was wrapped in linen and buried beneath the chapel floor, without a marker. Henry was already celebrating. That same afternoon, messengers rode to Jane Seymour. Within 10 days she would be queen. Anne's emblems were carved off walls. Her portraits destroyed. Her name forbidden. Her legacy erased, by design. Yet in that brief silence after the sword fell, something endured. A warning about power, ego, and the fragility of truth. And that is what truly happened at the execution of Anne Boleyn. A story that still haunts history.